The Vietnamese village rests quietly within the landscape, a symbol of endurance through hardship. Weathered, simple homes stand beneath the sun, each bearing stories of time and struggle. The heavy air, weighed down by the blazing sun, mirrors the burdens the villagers carry. Amid this scene, Tam works tirelessly, his furrowed brow revealing a steadfast determination shaped by relentless effort. Every motion he makes speaks of quiet strength and a profound connection to the land. Along the desolate village road, Tam pressed on, each step echoing the weight of his struggles. A sorrowful scene stopped him in his tracks. A frail old beggar lay collapsed by the roadside, a figure consumed by despair. In the man's eyes, a silent plea reached deep into Tam's heart, stirring a powerful wave of empathy. His own stomach growled in protest, a painful reminder of his hunger as he wrestled with the choice before him. Yet with quiet resolve, Tam knelt beside the beggar, placing compassion above his own need. He offered his modest portion of rice and water, a humble gift, yet one that revealed the depth of his selfless heart. Deep within the forest, sunlight filtered through the canopy, casting golden patterns across the ground and illuminating an old beggar seated quietly on a moss-covered log. Suddenly, a brilliant light flared, and the beggar transformed before Tam's eyes, rising into a majestic forest spirit. With a warm, knowing smile, the spirit extended a humble, blackened clay rice pot toward Tam, an offering of heartfelt thanks. Tam, your kindness is rewarded with this magical pot. Say, cook, little pot, cook to make rice, and stop, little pot, stop to stop it. Tam returned to his quiet, solitary hut. The only sound, the soft shuffle of his tired footsteps. With care, he set the pot down on his worn wooden table, each motion slow and deliberate. As night wrapped around the hut, he leaned in and whispered, "Cook, little pot, cook." To his amazement, the pot began to bubble gently, releasing a fragrant promise into the air. One moment later, it brimmed with steaming rice, the warm, inviting aroma spreading through the room. The once empty hut transformed, filled with the comforting scent of nourishment and hope. Overflowing with gratitude, Tam filled his bowl, a simple, humble gesture of tending to his own needs. He sat down quietly, taking in the rich aroma of the rice and appreciating the gift before him. As he ate, a deep sense of peace settled over him, a rare moment of pure contentment. When he had eaten his fill, Tam turned to the magical pot and spoke with quiet sincerity. "Stop, little pot, stop." With tender care, Tam ladled rice from the magic pot, making sure every villager received their portion. Smiles broke across weary faces, eyes glistening with joy and gratitude, reflecting the hope Tam had sparked. Slowly, the village began to stir with new life, alive once more with the warmth of community and the promise of better days ahead. At the center of the village, Tam shared rice freely, his generosity casting a warm light over all. From the shadows, Ba watched, his face darkened by resentment as envy took root. Each act of Tam's kindness deepened the bitterness in Bar's expression, twisting it with jealousy. Soon, his thoughts turned to Deceith's mind, scheming to claim the magic rice pot for himself. Consumed by greed, Bar imagined the pot as his own, his eyes glinting with selfish desire. Tam's modest hut sat quietly, its door left open to the world. With cautious, wide eyes, Bar crept inside, nerves taut with anticipation, desperation fueling his every move. He rifled through Tam's sparse belongings. At last, his gaze locked onto the prized pothis eyes, lit with triumph as he snatched it up and hurried away. Inside Bar's modest home, the air buzzed with anticipation as he carefully placed the pot onto the weathered wooden table. Holding his breath, he leaned in and whispered, "Cook, little pot, cook." The old table stood still and silent beneath the pot, as if shielding a powerful secret waiting to awaken. The rice pot bubbled without pause, sending a continuous cascade of grains tumbling out and covering the table in a growing heap. The overflow crept outward, quickly turning the floor into a dense, rising sea of rice. Bar stared in shock, his face frozen in terror as he frantically searched for a way to stop the unstoppable flow. But the rice kept surging, a relentless tide threatening to swallow everything in its way. Rice bursts forth from Bar's house in a golden flood, spilling across the village streets. Panic spreads as homes fill with rice, turning turmoil into a strange kind of spectacle. Villagers wade through the knee-high sea of grains, their movements a mix of urgency and bewilderment. The village is transformed into a surreal scene, where rice is both an overwhelming burden and a curious, almost comical sight. Bar's eyes flitted nervously, swirling with regret and desperation as he searched for Tam. From the lush green fields emerged Tam, steady and resolute, a guiding light amidst Bar's turmoil. Breaking the stillness, Bar's voice trembled with urgency, a heartfelt plea. "Tam, please, I need your help." Tam approached, his eyes taking in Bar's house, swallowed by rising flow of rice. Unfazed by the rising rice, he pressed on with firm determination. He halted before the sight and uttered the quiet command, "Stop, little pot, stop." In the heart of the village, a collective spirit rises as the villagers unite to restore their shattered homes. Bar, his head bowed in shame, trudges slowly toward the place where his actions caused harm. Humility marked in every line of his face, he steps forward to Tam and the gathered villagers, his voice shaking with remorse. In a heartfelt moment of honesty, Bar admits, "I am deeply sorry for my greed. I hope you can find it in your hearts to forgive me." Under Tam's wise leadership, the village prospered, and hunger became a thing of the past. Prosperity flowed into every home, filling hearts with joy. Changed by his remorse, Bar stood alongside Tam, united in the village's newfound abundance. The magic pot continued to bring blessings and prosperity to all. When greed takes over, it often brings more trouble than treasure. Those with the greatest wealth are the ones who understand the true value of giving, not merely holding on. The moral of the story is that kindness has a way of finding its way back to us, often when we least expect it. This tale is often told to children to teach the value of contentment, gratitude, and good intentions. Like other Vietnamese folk tales, it reflects rural life and the deep cultural respect for rice, the staple food and a symbol of life.